Welcome to Psychology with Dr. Song, a psychology podcast using daily life examples. Today we are going to talk about the placebo effect. So what is a placebo? A placebo is anything that seems to be a real medical treatment, but actually it is not. So it could be a pill, a shot, or some other type of fake treatment. And what all placebos have in common is that they do not contain an active substance or active ingredient, which is designed to affect the health or treatment effect. So the examples could be sugar pill or vitamin pills or others. So why placebo works? Obviously, it should not work since it doesn't have the active ingredients, right? But it does work sometimes, especially scientists have observed for stress relief or pain management. It seems that placebo works better. So here is the question I want to ask everyone. Is placebo effect a fake medical effect, or it is actually a demonstration of the power of psychology? So according to a study published online on October 27, 2016 by PLOS Plus Biology, may have identified what goes on in the brain during a placebo effect. Researchers use functional MRI to take brain pictures. They scanned the brains of people with chronic pain from knee osteoarthritis. Then everyone was given a placebo and had another brain scan. The researchers noticed that those who felt pain relief had greater brain activity in the middle frontal gyrus brain region, which makes up about 1/3 of the frontal lobe. This reminds me about a famous quote by Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you are right. Whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you are right. I think he knows the power of human mind. So here I want to ask you another question which may not be related, but trust me, it's related to today's topic. So let's say we all go to schools, right? Or we go to appointment, or we all go to a meeting. So should you be late to the class? And is it not good to be late to school? I think the answer should be very obvious, right? I think most of you would say, no, we shouldn't be late to the class. And it is not good to be late to school. So here's a story I want to tell you. A student was late for 20 minutes for his graduate statistics course and saw two problems written on a blackboard. Oh, homework, he thought. Since he's late, he felt embarrassed to ask any questions about the homework, so he just copied the homework and tried to work on it. So the problems were very difficult and took the student days to complete the solutions. So when he finally finished the homework, he thought, and submitted the homework to the teacher, it also took teacher days to grade the homework. So he was nervous because he thought the teacher was not happy about him being late to the school. It actually turns out those two questions are open problems. So what are open problems? If you are in math or science major, you may know this. In science and mathematics, an open problem or an open question is a question or problem that is known which can be clearly and accurately stated, described, and which is assumed to have an objective and verifiable solution, but which has not yet been solved. So basically, no solution for it is none. So it is a question, everybody can describe it very clearly, or some can describe it very clearly, and we can also verify, at least some can verify if the solution is correct, but we don't have a solution yet. That's called open problems. So you may ask, okay, what's up with the question? Or what's up with the story? So it turns out it's actually a real story. It's a story of George Dantzig. I hope I say the last name right, but it's George, G-O-R-G, and D-A-N-T-Z-I-G, Dantzig. So you may Google it as well. From 1914, he was born to 2005. He is an American mathematical scientist who made contributions to multiple fields, including industrial engineering, operations research, computer science, economics, and statistics. One of my favorites. So George is known for his development of the simplex algorithm, which is an algorithm for solving linear programming problems, and also for his other work with linear programming. For example, how to maximize profits and minimize losses, and how to determine the best diet for an army at the least cost, so best value. As you can see, there are quite a few real-life, daily life applications. So in statistics, George solved two open problems in statistical theory, which he had mistaken for homework after arriving late to a lecture. This story, or true story, reminds me about a movie, which the movie I guess is not true, but the Good Will Hunting. I would assume most people have seen this movie. So Will Hunting, the janitor at MIT, has a gift for mathematics. He can solve difficult equations, and he did one when he was working at MIT as a janitor. So he solved difficult equations, mathematical questions posted on the blackboard in the hallway of MIT. And Good Will Hunting in 1997 is a movie of his story of Will Hunting and his interaction with psychologists. It's actually a description about his journey to find direction in his life. Will eventually drove the car his brother gave him to California to be with Skylar, his girlfriend. So what's up with the movie? Well, there are a few things. It seems that this movie was at least partially influenced by the true story of George. And also, this movie was in 1997. 1997 is a special year for me, particularly because that's a year that I came to the United States to start my higher education in the United States, which is another, I would say, long story. If there's a chance in the future, I will tell you about it. Second thing about this movie is that it's actually Will Hunting, the janitor at MIT. I happen to live between Harvard and MIT, or my office is between Harvard and MIT. So my 远志教育 office is actually right between Harvard and MIT. And sometimes I would walk to MIT to take a look at their posts. Of course, I don't see any problems there. Even there are problems, I probably could not solve them. But every time I walk there, I thought about this story, this movie. Of course, back in 1997, I did not know much about Boston, but I moved to Boston since 2008. So when I watch the movie again, lots of things that in Boston I feel very familiar with. So that's a very, very special feeling. It's like depends on where you are, right? If you are away from your home country, but suddenly you see a movie or YouTube video that shows in the things that in your home country, but you are thousands miles away, I think you will feel similar as I do. So anyway, today's topic is about placebo effect. What does it really tell us? Is it a fake medical condition or is it a demonstration of the power of psychology? Is it a failure or a success? Well, I think the answer is probably up to you. Well, why? Because whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you are right. So, if you are asking a question, is it an open problem that no one can solve it or a homework assignment that takes days to solve? The results might be very different. Actually, George said himself, he said, should he not think those are homework assignments if he didn't arrive late? He would know that it's actually an open problem. He probably wouldn't even try to solve them. But because in his mind, he thought that's just homework assignment. And because he was late, he probably feel embarrassed and a little bit guilty about that. He may want to, I guess, do a job to the homework assignment so that he can somehow compensate his late. So he tries very, very hard. He cannot give up because he was already late 20 minutes. Because of that mindset, he resolved those open problems, which surprised everybody, including his teachers, of course. So in the future, when you think about can you do it or not about something or everything, please think about this story and the placebo effect. Is it a failure or a success? Is it an open problem that no one can solve it, or it is just a homework assignment that takes a few days to solve? Keep in mind, the so-called limitation is just your imagination. Till next time, thank you for listening to today's podcast about the placebo effect.